Canada's coming off of winning their very first match at a major tournament after defeating Peru 1-0, and they have now put themselves in a fantastic position to advance to the quarterfinals. I'm here right now to do the 5 takeaways, which is what I do after every Canada match. This is my raw reaction. I'm very excited, so let's get into it. Let's begin with takeaway number 1, and that is the fact that this may have been one of the most frustrating matches I've ever seen. We all knew that Peru were going to be very difficult to play. If you watched Peru take on Chile, you were aware of that. But what I wasn't in for was watching Canada be so uninspiring. The opening 15 minutes of the match, we had possession, but we just simply didn't do anything with it. We didn't seem motivated, we were making mistakes, and it just got worse. When Peru grew into the match, they really took the game to us in the second half of the first half, and we were lucky to make it out not down a goal. We'll get into the red cards a little bit later, but it didn't get much better. Yes, Jesse Marsch is going to get some credit for making substitutions, but this match was just simply sloppy, and I don't know whether to look at the players for not being motivated. I don't want to say that's it. I assume it probably had to do with the weather. It's 35 degrees there. It's very, very hot in Kansas City. This is now match number 2 in Copa America after playing in Atlanta, which was also pretty hot. Tired mind, tired legs, decisions just were not there. And it came from just simple passing. And that's where Canada ran into a lot of trouble, is when we didn't have any pressure on us, when there was no one pressuring the target, someone would make a pass and they couldn't receive it. It would go under their foot, it would bounce off their leg, they would maybe do a check and then not be aware. It was just wild. Watching about a 5-minute spell in that first half, passes were going everywhere, we looked sloppy, we didn't look up for it, and I thought we were going to be in massive, massive trouble. On top of that, Ismail Kone had a really difficult first half as well. He was phenomenal against France in that friendly, which got me so excited to see what he could do in Copa America. But against Argentina, he was really poor. I wanted to maybe put it down to the fact that the occasion just got to him. 70,000 fans playing against Messi, it's Argentina. But I think he was worse in this first half, and rightfully so, he got yanked. And I had big question marks about who could potentially come in and replace him. We don't really have someone who could, I think, do what Kone would do on the defensive side of things, as well as be able to go forward. We threw in Osorio, we'll switch up the shape a little bit. It worked out fine, but unfortunately for a player that right now is being linked to Marseille and is so highly regarded in Canadian soccer, he's just had a couple really difficult games, and it just added to the fact that things were not going well for Canada in this match. Moving on to takeaway number 2, we're going to take a look at the subs, who pretty much all made impacts, especially Jacob Schaffelberg. Now, at halftime, I wasn't convinced that Osorio could have came on and replaced Kone. I just didn't think he was going to be able to do what Kone would do in that double pivot. We switched up the shape, which made more sense, and then obviously once the red card happened, that substitution looked like a stroke of genius. I'm not even going to get into that first red card. It was red card, it was a headbutt, the referee made a mistake. We got fortunate enough to get another opportunity where a red card came in, and like I mentioned in takeaway number 1, we were sloppy and I didn't really think things were going to turn around. We started the second half a little bit better, but it's still, I don't know if we would have picked up the 3 points if not for that red. Could have broke Schaffelberg's leg, he drew the red card, and then that started Canada basically turning things around. Schaffelberg was incredible. I can't praise him enough for this type of performance. It makes it so difficult because you know as a player like him, you want to start games. But when you keep coming off the bench against tired legs and causing such problems, it's hard for Jesse Marsch to look at him and be like, hey, you're not the super sub I need. But Jesse has said, Schaffelberg will get his chance to start, and I'm saying it right now, I think he should start against Chile, because he was a menace all night long. He put in 4 or 5 quality balls where I think, if a striker could have gone on at the end of it, it's a goal. He could have picked up 2-3 assists. He was obviously involved in the goal as well. Big shout out to Kyle Larin for the hold-up play. That's what you want to see from him. Releases Jacob Schaffelberg, uses his footballing IQ to release that ball perfectly for Jonathan David to put the ball in the back of the net. He was a difference maker. Jacob Schaffelberg was also a difference maker in the match against Argentina, and it's coming to a point where he just simply needs to start. The other substitutes did their jobs as well. I do have some worry around Kamal Miller, who just looked off the pace. He just doesn't look like he's quick enough at this level. Was definitely a bit of a worry, but they kept the clean sheet, so I can't complain too much. Takeaway number 3, we are going to look at the front 2. I did just mention Kyle Larin. He took a lot of heat in the watch along. I get that. but he did come up big. What Kyle Larin can do well is hold up the ball and lay it off, and that's what he needed to do. And for the goal, he did exactly that. The way he used his body to hold up the ball, a nice little touch, he created the goal. He was the first one to start it. Schaffelberg had to use his quality, and then Jonathan David needed to do what he needed to do, and that's where we're going to look right now. Jonathan David, again, quiet throughout this match. It's not like Larin and David were sensational. That's not what happened. But when we needed them the most, in a moment like this, we were up a man, they came up big. And it started with Larin. Schaffelberg made the impact, and then Jonathan David in on goal, a man who's being linked to Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, and obviously other teams as well. Comes up big, puts a beautiful finish in, scores the very first goal under Jesse Marsch, and Canada's very first goal ever at a Copa America. Match-winning goal. That's what we expect from Jonathan David, and I really think it was a goal he needed. It was 3 matches without a goal under Marsch. Same as 3 goals, obviously, for Jonathan David, which he's not used to doing with this national team. So to see him score that goal was massive for his confidence, and I'm excited to see Larin and David going forward against Chile. Takeaway number 4, and I don't even know if you need me to tell you, but Maxime Crépeau was the man of the match. Maxime Crépeau was, in my eyes, the man of the match against Argentina in a 2-0 loss. He's already had well over double-digit saves throughout this tournament already, and he comes up big every time you need him to. And if you want to know a little bit about Maxime Crépeau's character, just watch what he did for LAFC en route to winning MLS Cup. He sacrificed his leg. He broke his leg for his team, went to a shootout, they won. That is the type of player he is. He comes up big in big moments. And in that first half, when Peru were bringing on the pressure, there was a couple quality opportunities, Crépeau was there. And then late in the match, after Canada took possession on and got their goal, but obviously when a team's chasing the game, Peru was putting pressure on Canada, a couple quality opportunities came, and every time a question was asked, Maxime Crépeau answered it with a big save. And I don't have anything else to really say. He's just been flawless. He makes me feel so comfortable at the back. His distribution has always been good. He's just a calming presence to what is a young back four, and I absolutely love it. Man of the match for me for both of these games so far in Copa America. Finally, for takeaway number 5, it is that the Jesse Marsch era has begun. The first 3 matches against Juggernauts was a little warm-up to get to see what Jesse has to play with, and then we took on a team that we needed to win. Full stop, we needed to win. Was it a pretty match? No. Did we play well? No. But Jesse found a way to make the right decisions at the right time to get us 3 points. Taking off Kone is a massive call. I didn't know what he was going to do. He brought on Osorio. He then switched his shape to make that back 3 to cover someone like Osorio in the midfield. Bringing on Schaffelberg. Tani Oluwasi, he almost scored the goal. He's a good player to come off the bench, and right now I think that he's next man up in the striker position. I don't think it's Theo Bair or Jason Russell-Rowe. I think it's Tani. I think Jesse made his decisions right. The game wasn't going his way. He can't control the fact that these players are tired. But I think he made the right substitutions. He made the right decisions. He made the right tweaks. And he scratched, he pulled, he clawed. He found a way to get his team to pick up 3 huge points, which puts us in a fantastic position to hopefully at least get a point, if not a win against Chile, and head to a quarterfinal matchup against the group of life. There's a possibility all of a sudden we find ourselves in a semifinal. I know it's thinking down the road, but we needed to take care of business against Peru, and we needed to win at a major tournament. Jesse Marsch did that. It's a statement win. You can't say anything else about it. So those are my 5 takeaways from a match that was so exciting in terms of the fact that we won and not really just actually watching it. But I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section. Do you agree with my 5 takeaways? What other takeaways did you have from the match? Do you think that we're going to make it to the quarterfinals? Let me know. And before I say goodbye, let's get a final word in from our sponsor here on the channel, BetStamp. Exciting news for the channel. I'm thrilled to announce that JJD TV is partnering up with BetStamp and Sign-Up Expert. This opens up an incredible opportunity for you to join up with some of my favorite sports books to get the best odds and user offers throughout Copa America. Head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/JJDTV to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with unique offerings. If you're ready to take your sports betting to the next level throughout this tournament and want to show some love for the channel, I highly recommend you signing up for your next sports book through my Sign Up Expert link. You can easily find it in the description of this video.